Okay, I'm going to be setting up a shrimp tank today, and this will do. This will take up to 60 kilos of weight according to the manufacturer. It's just a piece of old furniture that I got. Now, some glass aquariums will come with a floating bottom. Some will not, which means you need to take the imperfections out. And what you need is a piece of foam, which is like this. Now, I'll put a link in the description where I got this from. It came in a big reel. So what I'm going to do now is move the tank over here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so this is the tank we're going to be using, and it's called, I think it's Denal. It's a 60-litre tank. Ideally, I would be using a new tank, but this is one for the purpose. We're going to be using this substrate because it's completely inert, and this will sort neocardinians. Cardinians are better off with a pH slightly lower. So I would use something like fluvastratum, but these ones, the neos we're going to call them, are perfect for this because it's completely inert, and I'm going to be sticking it in there. So bear with me, it doesn't matter how you put it in, to be fair. So we're just going to jump it in there, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it later. I've just made sure that the tank is level, because obviously you don't want it unlevel. This is very important, especially if you're running a tank like I am, which has got a glass or open top. So as you can see, the substrate is now in. It's a very, very dark, well, it is black, but it will change over time, I believe. The last time I used this, it actually went into a grey rather than black over about a year. But that's how we're going to do it. That is it. So that's the first part we're going to do. Now what we're going to do is probably get some decor in there. And I'm not going to put the plants in yet. I've got some plants, but we're going to put them in later on. The first thing I want to do is get the filter up and running. So I'm going to put the decor in and say the heater. We're going to set the heater about 25, 26. And then when the shrimp come, I've asked the supplier of the shrimp for the details on the aquariums that he keeps them in. And at least that way I have all the parameters I need to ensure their safe arrival. Okay, so I had some mapani wood and just an ornament out of another tank. So we're going to set that up like that, and here we're going to probably put a plant. There we're going to probably put a plant, and a plant here. We're going to put the filter there and the heater there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So we're going to have a look at now. You notice when I painted the background green, which is quite cool. If you have a look on my videos, you'll see that. And we're going to now see if we can get, I'm hoping, the heater in there. Now I've got to wait for the shrimp to come, which is going to be tomorrow, but this would be part one of the setting up of the tank. Okay, I do have a little pro tip. If you get suckers that just don't suck anymore, boil a kettle, put them in a cup of boiling hot water for 10 minutes, take them out and let them cool naturally, and they become very sucky again, like these. They will be very sucky. All right. So here we have the water, and if you look in there, if you pour this into the mobile filter, it won't disturb any of your substrate. It'll also help to keep the sponge filter settled in the tank. This is handy as well if you're doing a particular aquascape. I'm not into aquascaping. I like nature over what I decide to do, but this is fantastic for keeping things straight. Also, any particulates that's in the water, we're quite lucky here, but any particulates in the water will siphon themselves out in that filter. Okay, as you can see, the filter's still floating, and I've turned the wood upside down to make sure that, obviously that's going to float as well, okay? And you can obviously see that there are lines. See these lines? That's the fill levels, by the way. That's where you get micro bubbles. That's how much I've been filling it up by. I will put a light on this to show you a little bit more, okay? But at the moment, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And the reason I want to do that, I want to make sure that everything sinks properly. There's your heater. And my heater, my preference is the Aqua EL Ultra. It's got a thermometer built in. We're going to get the shrimp from the dealer. We'll get the plants from the dealer, and then we're going to have a little swap around. It's actually come out quite well. I'll stick the light on in a minute and just show you how that's come about. Now, obviously this is going to change. We're going to have some plants in there. You can see the little micro bubbles coming off of there. Once that becomes sodden, and then it will just stay down there, and I can put it wherever I want. That's actually starting to sink already. And there you go. I'll show you it in a minute, just complete. Okay, there's a couple of questions that I know you guys are going to be asking. The first of all, I'm only filling it up to this level for two reasons. One, I'm going to be putting plants in here, so obviously I don't want it to the top. If you add it to the top, it will spill. Even if I left it a little way down, this will make it easier for me to put plants in. Secondly, this is unconditional water. In there at the moment is just strictly tap water that I filtered out to bring the TDS down to about 200. People are going to say, why isn't it lower? It doesn't need to be lower. I'm matching the supplier's water parameters, okay? And this is for cherry shrimp, okay? They're neocardidians. I think it's said like that. Now, the reason that I haven't conditioned the water is I want everything in there, which is basically secondhand apart from the filter, yeah, to be sterilized. This is the best way to do it. This is going to sterilize it quite a lot. And the reason it's going to sterilize it quite a lot is because it's got everything in there, e.g. the bleaches and that come with tap water. And so that will get rid of any impurities, any little bacteria that's living on this wood, for instance. You get little microbes that are lifting on that. That will kill it all off. So that is why I've done that. And the next thing will be the plants and shrimp, which hopefully will be here by tomorrow at the latest. If not, I'm going to probably take some stuff out of my other tanks and put it in here. At that point, when I turn the filter on, the first thing I'm going to do is put in some water conditioner. And also, I'm going to put in there another filter. The reason the other filter is going in there is because it will instantly cycle the tank. It will basically give a huge amount of bacteria in there. Now, if you remember, in the Tetra, I have the Eco 300 running and a sponge filter. The sponge filter will be going on here until that one is self-sufficient, which I'm assuming is going to be around a month, which I'll be testing the water, obviously. I'm going to test it because the tank itself doesn't look level anymore. This can happen when you put water in, so be mindful of that as well.